All right, diving into the world of cryptocurrency today, we're tackling this fascinating research paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system.
A classic.
Right. And before you say it, I know, Bitcoin might seem a little yesterday's news, but the tech behind it, still mind-blowing. Plus, there's that whole mystery author thing going on, Satoshi Nakamoto, anyone.
Absolutely. It's like the digital Rosetta Stone. This paper unlocks not just Bitcoin, but like a whole universe of decentralized systems.
Love that analogy. Okay, but for those of us who haven't cracked the code yet, let's back up a bit. Imagine online payments, instant, no fees, no middleman, just pure digital cash. Sounds pretty ideal, right?
Convenient, for sure. But there's always a but, isn't there? Remember that old movie Asterisk, Hackers Asterisk?
Oh.
That floppy disk sound every time money moved on screen?
Mm.
We're talking about making those digital transfers actually mean something, making them secure.
Exactly. And that's where our old friend double spending pops up. You can't hand the same $5 to two different people at the same time.
Well, unless you're pulling some serious magic tricks. Online, though, it's a whole other story. Preventing that same digital coin from being spent twice, that's the challenge.
And that's been the big roadblock for digital cash for years. How to make it as tangible as, well, real cash, the usual solution. Banks, they verify, they play referee. But that trust, it comes at a cost. Fees, delays, sometimes even censorship. Not exactly ideal.
So we're stuck with the powers that be.
Oh.
No way around it. Tell me Bitcoin found a way. That's the beauty of this paper. Nakamoto found the way. Imagine a system where no one is in control, but everyone is, collectively ensuring trust. That's the revolution Bitcoin's offering.
Okay, now you've got my attention. But how do millions of users agree on like a single history of transactions, especially online where anyone can jump in or out whenever they want? Seems like a recipe for utter chaos.
And yet it works.
Yeah.
That's where distributed timestamp server comes in. Sounds super complex, but it's the heart of blockchain.
Hit me with it.
Imagine a digital time capsule, but instead of burying it, everyone on the network gets a copy. And in that capsule, every Bitcoin transaction ever made, that shared history, that's the blockchain. And that's how we tackle double spending.
So everyone having a copy makes it impossible to cheat, right? Because any funny business would be spotted immediately. But what's stopping someone from just, I don't know, adding a few extra Bitcoins to their own copy?
You're thinking like a true innovator.
Yeah.
And that is where things get really wild. To prevent that, Bitcoin uses something called proof of work. And trust me, it's about to get mind-blowing.
Proof of work, it sounds exhausting. Like, what kind of work are we talking about here? And what does it have to do with Bitcoin?
Okay, imagine a massive digital Sudoku competition. But instead of numbers, it's computers on the Bitcoin network all racing to solve crazy complex math problems.
And not just any math problems, I'm guessing.
Oh, definitely not your back-of-a-napkin math, no. We're talking cryptographic hash functions.
Okay, you lost me. Cryptographic what now? Maybe back up a little. Use words I understand.
Right, sorry, jargon overload. Basically, these are problems that take a ton of computing power to solve, like ridiculous amount.
So picture rows of supercomputers, lights blazing, fans whirring, trying to outmath each other. But what's the big prize? Why go through all that effort?
The first one to crack the code, to find the solution, gets to add the next block of transactions to the blockchain. That's the mining part. And for their efforts, they get rewarded with brand new Bitcoins, plus any fees from those transactions.
So it's like digital gold mining. The more you solve, the more you earn. Clever. But it still seems kind of roundabout, you know?
It might seem that way, but it's actually what keeps the whole system honest. Remember how we were talking about someone messing with their copy of the blockchain? Well, this proof of work thing makes that almost impossible.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
To cheat, you'd need to control more than half, like 50% of the entire network's computing power, and you'd have to constantly outsolve everyone else. Talk about an uphill battle.
Yeah, good luck with that. So the more miners join the race, the harder it becomes to game the system. It's like this self-sustaining cycle of trust, all built on math problems. Wild.
Exactly. That's the genius of Nakamoto's design.
Yeah.
Elegant, robust.
No, just brilliant. But here's the thing. The truly mind-blowing part is that this technology, this blockchain thing, it's bigger than just Bitcoin. Way bigger.
Now you're speaking my language. Because honestly, while all this tech talk is fascinating, I'm starting to wonder, what does this mean for me? For the average person who just wants to, like, order groceries online without selling a kidney to cover the transaction fees? That's the question, right? And what's exciting is that even if you never buy a single Bitcoin, this tech has the potential to change, well, pretty much everything. from how we pay for things to how we think about financial security. It's a big deal.
Okay, now you really, asterisk have my attention. Let's talk real world impact because I have a feeling this is where things get really good. All right, lay it on me. What kind of real world impact are we talking about here? Because I gotta say, sometimes this tech stuff can feel a little abstract.
Oh, I hear you. But that's the thing about Bitcoin. It's not just some abstract idea. It's about real-world possibilities. Let's start with something we all deal with: transaction fees.
Don't get me started, especially those international transfer fees. It's like highway robbery.
Right. Well, with Bitcoin, since you're cutting out the middleman, those fees significantly lower, especially for cross-border payments. Think of it like sending an email instead of mailing a letter: faster, cheaper, more efficient.
Okay, I'm following you. But if there are no banks involved, who's making sure everything's above board? It can't just be a free-for-all, right?
Definitely not a free-for-all.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this whole blockchain thing. Every single transaction, verified and recorded publicly. Anyone can audit it anytime. It's like having a whole army of accountants working around the clock, making sure everything adds up.
So, more transparent than traditional banking then. I'll admit, that's a pretty strong argument in Bitcoin's favor. What else you got?
Oh, we're just getting started. Bitcoin also offers something that's really hard to come by with traditional banks: privacy.
Hold on, back up. I thought you said every transaction is recorded on this blockchain thing. How's that private?
Good catch. Here's the thing. All the transactions are public, yes, but the parties involved, they're hidden. Like seriously hidden behind these super complex cryptographic keys. Think of them as digital pseudonyms.
So you can see that money is changing hands, but not who's doing the exchanging.
I got it. Like a secure, anonymous digital wallet. No need to broadcast your financial history to the world.
Okay, that makes sense. And I can see how that would be really important for a lot of people, especially in places where, financial freedom isn't a given. This is definitely making me think differently about things. But let's be real, no system is perfect. What about the downsides? What are the potential pitfalls of this whole Bitcoin thing?
The million-dollar question. And you're right, Bitcoin has huge potential, but it's not without its challenges. One of the big ones is price volatility. Remember those stories about people becoming Bitcoin millionaires overnight? Or losing everything?
Yeah, like that guy who bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoins back in the day. Ouch.
Exactly. Until Bitcoin stabilizes, it's hard to imagine it becoming, our everyday currency. And then there's regulation. Governments are still trying to figure out how to handle this whole new world of digital currency.
It's always a balancing act, isn't it? Trying to encourage innovation while making sure things don't go completely off the rails. But it seems like, love it or hate it, Bitcoin has really shaken things up. It's changed how we think about money, technology, trust even.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Whether Bitcoin itself survives in the long run is almost beside the point. The real revolution, it's the tech behind it, the blockchain. It has the power to build a more decentralized, transparent, and ultimately more equitable future. And that's something worth getting excited about.
Absolutely. It's like we took a deep dive into Bitcoin and ended up discovering a whole new world of possibilities. It's definitely given us all a lot to think about. And on that note, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the future of money, technology, the whole shebang? Head over to our social media and join the conversation. Until next time, happy diving, everyone.